guess I was freezed up, fresh out of the deeper freezer, cause I'm deeper than any voice on speakers. I can't hear y'all haters, you gotta speak up. I don't need to slow down, I need to speak up. Anonymous activity, Bobby B stuff. Jealousy's a key mask, the motion, and ease up. Fresh out of the freezer. Fresh, guess I was freezed up, fresh out of the deeper freezer, cause I'm deeper than any voice on speakers. I can't hear y'all haters, you gotta speak up. I don't need to slow down, I need to speak up. Anonymous activity, Bobby B stuff. Jealousy's a key mask, the motion, and ease up. Fresh out of the freezer. Fresh, guess I was freezed up.
Welcome to the Ultimate DJ Music Review and More Talk Show. I am your host, Massage B. And of course, you guys know that I always have a guest available every week. Usually it's musical or something to that, physical or health and wellness. But today we want to go into current affairs and some of the things taking place around the world and here in America. I know you guys seen a thumbnail, and it has on there Stephen Miller and Charlie Kirk, and it has on there the 5 officers that were shot. Were unalive. Forgive me. A couple days ago, and I wanted to kind of get into all that with some of my panelists and some of the people that have other shows on YouTube. So just welcome HASSAN TAHIR show is in the building. Welcome. Can't hear you.
What up, everybody? Appreciate you for having me. Salute.
And also we have Frank Carbone Jr. in the building. Frank, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you.
And also we'll be having my other partner, Alma Garrett Smith, coming in as soon as she grabs something to snack on. I know the feeling because I'm hungry right now. But I got some juice that'll hold me over for a few minutes. Now, fellas, can you introduce yourself to each other?
I'm Hassan, Frank. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Hassan. I'm Frank Carbone Jr. I've been here before and appreciate coming back. And it's good to meet you too.
Yeah, good to meet you as well. I can't wait for this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
Now, Hassan, can you tell us where you come from originally? We know that you're an American now, but where you come from originally?
Well, I was born in Iraq, and I came to the United States when I was 6 years old. But I still kept in contact with my homeland. I got family over there. I visited Jordan. So the kingdom, there's a country, no one knows, a country called Jordan, the Kingdom of Jordan.
No, we know about Jordan.
Yeah. Some people never.
We heard about Jordan. You better go ahead. The River Jordan. And also, Hassan, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on over there from your perspective?
Yeah, so in the Palestinian and the Israeli problem, there's nothing new. I know how the media and some politicians want to paint it October 7th. But there's nothing new. There's been going on every year, every day. On the other side of the Palestinian territory, the West Bank, the settlers always burning stuff, damaging people's home and taking people's land. That gets reported, less reported on in America. And now what people have seen, it got worse. This time it's 10 times worse than before. Yeah, you can blame Hamas, but here's a little thing no one knows. Back in the early days, Hamas was funded by the Israelis to fight off the other side government. There's a group called Fatah.
Yeah.
and they run the West Bank right now. Like they got a president and all that stuff. Then in 1990s, it was like a switch over. They did a peace deal with Fatah, the other side, and Hamas became the evil terrorists, as everybody knows it today. So the thing is, the way the Gazan people look at it, and a lot of Arab, is like the resistant movement of the Gazan people, like their last hope on the land to fight back.
Yeah.
So, and even if they come up with a different name, Apple, the United States and Israel is going to look at it as a terrorist, even though other countries and other people call it the resistant movement. So no matter what the Palestinians do, they always get shut down in the political debates or whatever, or the last resort to fight. Because again, there's two types of government. There's Fatah runs the West Bank, and there's the Hamas that runs inside Gaza. And then the Israelis have like a lockdown on everything from sea, land, and ground. And there's like multiple borders. And that's why things don't add up when October 7th happened, because especially in the Gaza and West Bank, there's a lot of checkpoints. Like every 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever, there's a
Yeah.
checkpoint. So yeah, now here we are. Situation got worse. Now the stuff they've been hiding or try to lie about, right now is like they can't hide it no more. Like people have awoken up. People start to see what it is. You know, the U.S. media, the Israelis, the something they've been getting away with now is like open. No, they can't hide it no more. You know, there's
Yeah.
the lies, the abuse, the the destruction they done. So you know,
So what happens after that is they just take them out. Is what you saying? Once they can't cover the lie no more.
that's what's been happening. And back then, they were doing the same thing, but it was like doesn't get reported as much. Maybe like when few war happened here and there, but there's like to the Palestinians every day, 24/7, nonstop. That's what I'm trying to say. The world, we understand that. America, because it doesn't get reported that much. That's why these are the terrorists. These are the good guys. That's it. That's all they. That's the picture they paint. They don't go in full details. Even Christians, Palestinian Christian, they get spit on. They get arrested over there. They got the church got bombed. So it's not just the Muslim Palestinians get attacked. It's also the Christians, the atheists. Palestinian. Everybody gets attacked if you're Palestinian descent.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, so um, why does they're separate states, right? Gaza and you said because one's run by Hamas and one by Fatah, right?
Fatah, yeah, Fatah. The West Bank. But they really, when it comes down to it, they really don't control anything. Only inside the city. Gaza's like a city, if you want to call it. They
Yeah.
don't. They don't control their borders, the air and the sea, really. You know. So the only thing
Yeah.
they're in charge of is what they do inside the city.
Yeah, because we've been kind of not the people have been fighting, of course, for Palestine over here in America.
Yeah.
And but and the reason why I brought you back, right, Hassan, is because when that's how I first met you, you was telling me that you were from this and that, and we started making a joke out of it, and that I made it milk snackistan, right? But even so, even amongst our laughter and us being able to clown a little bit, I didn't want you to think that it got past me what you said to me.
Yeah. 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 Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I just didn't have a chance
Definitely.
to address it directly head on.
Oh no, no, I get it. I understand. And the thing is, from my understanding, and this has been not a lot of Americans even know the full detail of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
The majority of Americans don't. So, but, and that's what makes it more difficult and then kind of frustrating sometimes when you talk to. It's easier talking to a European than an American when it comes to this topic.
Yeah, because they're over there with you guys. They understand it a little bit better.
No, no, yeah, it's not about you with us or against us or you agree.
No,
It's
no,
about
I don't mean
it's about
against you. I mean over there in the same areas.
yeah, 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 and they have a better understanding of fully. I'm not,
Absolutely.
yeah, of the situation.
Yeah. Because, us over here, we really don't know. We're so engulfed, as you can see, and what's happening over here in America, that we really don't have that sometime the time to extend to the rest of the world. Our
Yes.
government does it, but the regular people during the day don't do that because we're already entrenched. Frank, you have any conversation about this?
Yeah, I was just wondering, with all these problems that we're having all over the world, and especially the problems we're having in the United States, I, I, I believe that we're really not hearing the truth about everything. And a lot of reports that we see here have been, in my opinion, changed by certain people, depending upon who they might favor. But Hassan, could you explain, like, just in fundamental terms, in fundamental language, what is the cause of all this turmoil there in the? I think at one time they called them the Holy Lands, and there was a holy war going on in Holy Lands. But what is the fundamental cause of
Okay.
these problems?
So before World War I, right? The the Arab world was under the Ottoman Empire, which Turkey. Then World War I ended. The British took over. Then the French. So the French and the British, they came to the Arabs. Hey, back us up against the Ottomans, and you guys get independence, and yada yada. Here's the but the French and the British, they made a deal behind the scenes. Once the Ottoman and the World War I finish, they're gonna split those lands between each other. The French and people need to understand Jews, Arab, Muslim, Christian. We've been living peacefully in those lands before. I'm not saying like we have our little tensions and disagreements. That's fine, but we've been living there with each other for thousands of years. So when the French and the British came, World War II came, that ended. It got weak and it gave us our independence. So what happened was the British started drawing lines. They started putting people that usually like don't mix with each other. It's like they drew fake maps. Oh, this is a country now. Iraq, for example, my country. They looked at Iraq, they cut Kuwait, and they made it to his own kingdom. Kuwait is Iraqi land. That's when Saddam invaded. This is our land. And the Kuwaitis, which they don't tell you, they start talking about like some CIA people started talking about the Kuwaitis, they've been taking our oil. So the cause of the problem of the majority in the Middle East is business, is oil. If one leader says no to American companies or government, he's the bad guy. He's the evil terrorist. Now, what we've seen over there, there's been terrorists and leader dictators work with America. So the what people starting to understand over there, either you become an enemy of the Americans or become a friends of the Americans, you're gonna get screwed over in the end. Like what happened to the Egyptian president. 31 years, did exactly whatever America wanted. They sold them out. The French. It's not just America, it's the French, the British, and the. But America got more influence, especially after World War II. So the cause of all of this is oil business. That's what it comes down to. If
Greed.
Frank agreed, yeah, if Frank, okay, you're the president of Egypt and you give us oil military bases, you're the good guy. Do whatever. 30 years later, Frank says, no, we're not doing this no more. They're going to turn on you. You're going to be on Fox News. The evil dictator is taking over the world. Either they're trying to assassinate you or literally go to war with you. And we've seen this play happen all the time. When Okay, look at this. When the whole ISIS stuff, right? And America was doing his bombing. But here's the thing no one tells you. In Iraq, the US was bombing ISIS. Across the border in Syria, they were helping ISIS because they didn't like Bashar al-Assad, the president who got overthrown back in December. Make sense of that. General Petraeus considered one time, hey, we should arm Al Qaeda to defeat ISIS. Wait, what? Now, the leader of Syria right now, the president of Syria, he's in Al Qaeda, and he just came to New York, shook hands with the president. Like, wait, I thought Al Qaeda was the bad guy. So, long Americans have, I don't know, like they don't, they forget, or they don't care.
They don't forget.
Yeah, so the point is easy to deceive people. So the problem is always going to be there. If they don't get what they want, you're going to become a target. It is what it is. It happens in Iraq, it happens in Sudan, not just the Middle East, the whole world. You got to play ball with the superpower, or you will become that. That's why this problem, it never is going to end. The Palestinians, the Arab, and a lot of the world say we need a two-state solutions in Palestine and Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, doesn't want that. That's why he's trying to rush everything and take over Gaza, take over more land in the West Bank. There's got to be a two-state solution, one for the Israelis and one for the Palestinians. Now, America keep ignoring that. That's the problem right there. So is the problem going to be solved? Yeah, every problem is going to be solved. But here's the thing. We're going to get back to the same mess in 10 years with a different name and a different group. 20 years ago was Al-Qaeda. 5-6 years ago was ISIS. Just change the names and change the faces. But the problem is the same problem. Oil, greed, business, So
Hassan,
people need to understand that part.
I'm sorry.
My bad. Go ahead.
Well, Hassan, I'm hearing what you said, and it sounds like the problem that your folks there in your region have been harmed by, and what people in my country, I don't call it the United States of America, I call it the ununited states and scams of the Americas. So the problem, as I see it, there's a common problem here. I use this quite a bit, this acronym, because this is what it's come down to here. It's a problem with corrupt, greedy, ruthless capitalists and fascists around the world. In the United States, it's very bad. It's very bad. The business community or business in general is in bed with the so-called elected officials, and they're also known as public servants. But they're not serving us. We are serving them. And in the United States, it's a problem that is so widespread at every level of government. And things are not what they say they are. Like they say, we are the richest, most powerful country in the world. They keep repeating that. They should not do that in this country. It's a big mistake. If they want to say we're the richest, most powerful government in the world, now that might be a truer statement. But as I see it, the problem is, you mentioned it, there's money involved. So when there's money involved and people are getting paid, and they're going to support the capitalists, they're going to support the fascists, whether they're from your country or another country, they get paid off. And we're controlled by these people in this country. And they make it sound like everything is beautiful here. It is not. It is not. We have a lot of problems. We see them every day, but they try to put the blame on a different cause. And they don't really analyze things right. They look at the effects of a much larger cause and try to put the blame on that to distract the people. Just like we have right now, I don't like that. We have certain people that are in charge of this country who are just lying every single day, and they're doing things to distract most of the people from what they're doing to look at something else. And I'll give you an example of, and I think we're going to talk about this on the show. We have all these shootings in this country, all these killings. We have people dying way before their time, and from these cancer pandemics, and not only cancer, other serious maladies that has, in my opinion, there are actual causes, but people don't want to admit this. We are in my opinion, based on what it's costing in this country just for medical care. The last time it was calculated, I believe last year, the numbers were $4.9 trillion in a year spent on medical care. And I didn't see an itemized list of what those charges went for. See, they just tell you the bottom line, but they don't explain in detail where did this money go. Now, this is for, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, a country that is, I believe, the sickest um, uh, country in the world, physically, mentally, and financially. We have people here that are the poorest of the poor, and they get blamed for being poor. We have a lot of poor people here in this country. It's hidden. Until recently, they just removed them all from Washington, D.C. I don't know where they put them, but they removed all of them from Washington, D.C. So where did they go? They maybe, if some people consider that to be a problem, but they just moved the problem from Washington, D.C. to someplace else. So all these problems, and I wonder at how many different places in the world the true cause is corrupt, greedy, ruthless capitalism slash fascism. Hassan.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten bad, and you spoke on the lie, right? That you
Yeah.
need to stop making. Hitler propaganda minister, and I always use this quote. He said, "If a lie and you keep repeating that lie over time,
Yeah.
people are gonna start believing it."
Yes.
You know. So
This is. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, my bad. But yeah, so the way the world's looking right now, how things are heating up, there's no different than what happened in the 30s. We got the rise of the Nazis, the Great Depression, people losing their jobs, economies were bad, then led to World War II, right? Now, same thing is happening. Now people are on drugs, mass shootings, things out of control. So the way it looks like we're heading to a bigger war, maybe a little bit different than World War II. Hey, Russia just announced World War III just started, and now I did not see Fox News talk about it, CNN. Trump didn't say nothing about it, and this is the Russian foreign minister coming out and saying this. I said,
Yeah.
wait, what? What do you mean World War III started? China's on, and China is becoming a superpower, whether we like it or not. And that's going to be a challenge to the United States economy, whatever. So people need to start waking up. Like, and also everybody got to hear what the other side is saying before we all, how you say, just don't be deceived. There's always another side to the story. And I get it over here. No one wants to hear it. Maybe some do, but the majority don't. And everybody lives inside a small bubble. But hey, we're in a crazy time, and you got to pay attention to everything. And
Yes.
and
It's
speaking on
been.
what?
It's been in a crazy time. This is what the Black American, have been trying to tell the world for a long time. You see, Frank is Italian. You're Israeli, but I'm Aboriginal American. My family is from here. But what we hear constantly over here is that we're from somewhere else. You're from Africa, and we keep telling them no, we're from here. That's that lie compiled on top of the lie, to compiled on top of the lie, to try to convince us that we're from Africa. But my family is from here and have always told us, no, we're from here. We're Indian. We're Indian. We're Indian. You get what I'm saying? Because that was the name of us from the beginning. India wasn't called India. So they were not the Indians. We were in America. You get what I'm saying? And so India came along to become India later on in the 1800s, but we were the original Indians. And every time that we tell people, no, this was our land, they came here, pillaged, plundered, stole, robbed, hurt, and unalived our people over here and set up government in our land. People arguing us down about it. And we keep telling them what happened. We can show deeds and properties and and land that have been burrowed through and highwayed over, and graveyards, ancestral graveyards and mounds that have been plowed down like nothing, and nothing about us even matters to them. So when you guys share your story but can't hear our, the Black American, a lot of times this is where the beef come in with us in the community, is because you're telling us the same story that we're telling you guys, but you don't believe us. We're telling you guys the same exact story. They did the same shit to us.
And
And
it's being
but
repeated.
and it's being repeated back to us. No, you're from Africa.
Yeah, and it's today and in the past. This has been repeated with other nationalities and or skin tones, whatever you want to call it, that come to this country, that immigrate to this country, and like my grandparents, all four of my grandparents immigrated here. They were dreamers. They immigrated here. They were all Italians from Italy. They may not have been 100% Italian, just like I had my DNA tested, and it proved that I was 85% Italian, and 15% was from another place. It was from the Caucasus, right? So what I'm saying, or I guess trying to say, when my grandparents came here, the same thing happened to them is happening today to some of the immigrants coming to this country. Unless you're special, get special privileges, like these people that are in elected office now. But my grandparents were discriminated against and terrorized when they came here. And they came here because they thought it was a good, beautiful country with a lot of opportunity. But they soon found out that the KKK did not like them to be here. So they discriminated. And my grandfather was in his 40s working in a coal mine where he was killed under mysterious circumstances. He might have been deliberately killed. It may not have been an accident. And my other grandfather was hurt badly in the mines. So my father, who was like 15 at the time, had to go to work in the mines to keep the family going. But so there was other losses and other hardships along the way.
And see, the sad part. Go ahead, Frank. I'm sorry.
But they managed a big family. But a lot of people that come here soon find out that they may not be appreciated. And I'm talking about, just for example, I'm not, talking about every single person that tries to come in here. The Mexican people, they're discriminated, but they're, in my opinion, Frank's opinion, they're needed here to do work that the other people don't want to do. They can't get other people to work in slaughterhouses, processing plants,
What other
working on
people?
farms. So all I'm saying
What
is,
other people? No, no. Let's clarify that. What other people that don't want to do it? What are the
well,
who are the
no,
other people?
what other people that don't want to do? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, no. Who are the other people? You
The
saying that the Mexicans
oh
are doing,
yeah.
but other
Well,
people
the
don't
Mexicans
won't
we
do it.
know.
Who are these
Yeah,
other people?
yeah, we know
See,
the Mex. It could be.
because
Yeah,
because historically the other peoples was black people.
yeah. Well, I was going to get to that. So you have this farming thing. where for as far back as I can remember, people have been coming from black people have been coming from other areas. Could be from Jamaica. It could be from other countries. They're people who are dark complected, and they were working the farms. They would come here primarily like in the fall when it was picking time, like fruit trees.
They
So they
were
used these
migrant
people.
workers that came. They first started
Yeah,
traveling
yeah,
from North Carolina
yeah,
to the different states. They were
yeah,
migrated to these different states
yeah. So that's
specifically for that reason. Hold on, Frank.
right.
But however, when the civil rights movement happened and the Black Americans started getting up, they they push the Black Americans out from those jobs. I'm gonna try to show you something so that when you say again that the other people won't do it, I'm gonna show you why.
Yeah, yeah,
Because after the North Carolina people and all the down south people came up every year to come and do the produce, when the Jamaican people were allowed to come in after the 1965 Civil Rights Act, they started electing those people and they started giving them green cards to be able to come here seasonally for cheaper work and be able to pick the fruit and stuff. And then what happened? They got to be too dynamic in what they do. So then the Mexican people came along and then they traded off the even the Caribbean people over to the Mexican people
yeah. Now
for cheaper
picking.
labor. And they've been doing this the whole time. This is the whole sucker shit. So why would the people, the original people, want to go back and help these same people who fucked me the first time?
Yeah, when I say the other people, I'm sorry I didn't clarify
No,
that.
yeah,
Uh,
that's why I asked you to clarify that
yeah,
because the other
yeah,
people is usually us.
yeah, yeah. The people who have been established here, they don't want that type of work. They don't want to have to muck the barns. They don't want to have to work in the
And I'm
field
telling you
from
why.
sun up to sundown. Yeah, from sun up to sundown. They don't want to do that. They want a good job, a clean job that's making good money. They don't want
No,
to
they
work
want
in
a good
soil.
job that's making money.
Making what?
They just want a good job that's making money. It's not that they won't do the job. Excuse me, this ice. It's not
You're
that they
gonna,
won't do the job.
yeah, it's going to be. No, the job that I'm talking about is working in the fields from sun up to sundown, planting, cultivating, picking, working, mucking the barns. You're not going to get the average American to do this type of work.
Frank, let me ask you a question. When you came to America, wasn't it already built?
I was born here. My
I'm just
parents,
saying, you know, your family. When I
yeah.
say you, I mean lineage wise.
Oh no, they started coming here in the late 1800s into the
Wasn't
early.
America already built though?
No, no, no. They
America
helped.
was built when there was America was already established. If America wasn't established, you wouldn't have had nowhere to go to. America was already built before you got here. That
No,
means somebody built this bitch before you got here in
no,
order for you to
I
be able to
disagree
come
with that.
here.
There was no home waiting for them here. They had to live. And when my grandparents were coal miners, when they came here, they owed their life to the coal company.
Well,
They
who
lived
built the
in a home.
coal mines?
Pardon me?
Who built the coal mines? I'm trying to show you something because a lot of people like to discredit the people who already was here that already did the hard fucking work and seem to gloss past the fact that we had already done this work before y'all got here. So, and anybody else and any other that you keep othering,
Yeah. Well,
we
I
have already done this work before
no,
y'all got
no.
here.
The
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 United
this,
States was already a built place before you got here. If
it
it
wasn't.
wasn't, you wouldn't have a place to
No,
come to.
no, it wasn't. They had no place to come to except
Yes,
the
you did. You had
no,
our land that the government took
well,
from us to come
land
to.
is yeah, land is one thing, Miss Tash,
You
but
okay? See how you gloss
infrastructure is
past
something
that?
else.
See how you gloss past that? This is where we call privilege comes into play. Because see how that and this is where the beef is, Hassan, and I want you to hear it for yourself. Because it the gloss right past that of no, you had our land that the government stole from us to come to.
Hmm.
You did not have nothing to come to. You had our land that the government stole from us to come to.
Yeah. Well, it the way it was working when my folks came here, all four grandparents, and my father, he was an immigrant too. So I'm a son and grandson of dreamers. When they came here, the country was in process of building. There's people, the coal mines were very important. They needed it for industry. They needed to heat the homes. But in the coal mines, not everybody even wanted to work in the coal mines because it was too dangerous. So you know what you got in the coal mines? You got immigrants, Italians, Poland's. You had Native Americans working in the coal mines. My
We
uncles who were
are the
born,
Native Americans. I keep trying to say this to you, Frank, and it's like as if you keep glossing past what I'm saying to you. Hassan, didn't you? This is what you guys are experiencing in your land.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Where they disregard what you're saying and say, but oh well, because this is what took place. And we said, no, this is what took place, this is what took place, this is what took
no, no,
place,
I'm
this is
not,
what took place, this is what took place. You get what I'm saying?
no,
And
that's
Yeah.
not,
because your story, Frank, mean more to you than our story. When I say that to you, you said to me, well,
no,
and kept right on going with your story.
no. Your story started long before my folks immigrated here.
Absolutely.
So
That's what Hassan was just saying about the situation over there.
I'm
That's
not
why I brought
disputing
it
what
out
you
like
said.
that.
I'm not disputing what you said, Miss Tash. I'm
No,
saying
no, no, Frank, come
I'm
on now. You
saying
know
that
I love you.
people who followed all of the slavery of the people, they too were like slaves, not in its true sense of the word, but they worked for a company. They couldn't even buy a house. They had to live in the house that was supplied by the coal company. So you paid in what they called at the time script. They paid you in script. So it was easy to buy your goods from the coal mine. It was easy to rent a house from the coal mine. It
They
all
were
belonged to the,
sharecropping.
pardon me?
They were sharecropping. That in earlier times it was called
Yeah,
sharecropping.
yeah. Now the other thing is I heard uh, American farmers. I'm not talking about the small farmer. I'm talking about the big farmers. They said they would not be able to stay in business without immigrants. That should tell you something right there. And I did hear a number, a percentage of what we're actually producing in this country versus what we're importing. And it's a huge disparity in
Now let
numbers.
me say this to you again. Now let's go back into that because we're gonna dig into it every time it come up. We're gonna dig into it. They can't produce. Why are the black farms with the same amount of property getting by? Why are the black farms doing well and the white farms are not doing well? Because in this time right here, the black farms are booming. They're doing exceedingly well. Why are the black farms doing good and the white farms are not doing good?
This is the first I'm hearing this. Now, what is your source on that?
You can look it up anywhere. We have Tiffany's Farms down here in Georgia and several other people all through California and everywhere. They're doing good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying that all family farms or all farms in the country are doing bad. They're just disappearing.
No, my
People,
question is why are the black farms doing good and the white ones not doing good?
I, 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 I'm not sure I could answer that.
Frank, it's because we don't rely on other people's labor to work our stuff. You understand what I'm saying? They need other people's labor because they too goddamn lazy to do it themselves. That was the beginning of how this country began.
Yeah.
Now, Hassan, what you think about all this?
Well, what I think about is we should never everybody has their story, right? Everybody has their history. Everybody has the way they look at it. Not every now, and it's true. Not everybody has their facts, right? Because everybody is looking at it from their point of view or how they been taught. So I'm not saying we're denying your history. Everybody's going to the same thing. Not true. Some people have it worse than others, but that's humanity. That's how we like to call them, the elites or the people in power. They don't give a damn about all that. They give a damn is about the green in their pocket. So if they want something, they're gonna make it happen.
They're going to, like the word of God teaches us, they're going to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yeah, yeah, and they're actually more patient, and they're like 10 steps ahead of everybody. You know,
Never,
let's say,
never 10 steps ahead, just 10 steps more treacherous.
yeah. There you go.
You get what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, yeah,
They'll sit down with your daughter and then kill your grandmother and everybody else that later on that night.
exactly. Well, yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? And so when we say to you guys, and no disrespect to anybody, if we're saying to you guys, this is what took place over here with us. And when we hear everybody else try to dispute us about what took place over here with us, is where you find these culture clashes. It's because, like you said, Frank, your family came over and they began anew here with really not too much to go on, just what they had. But like you said, my story begins before that. And so we go back to the leading up to your story. And then when we get to your story turned into my story.
Right.
Same story. And then when by the time Hassan get here, his story is a different story, but his story turned into my story.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so what I keep trying to explain to people is these are our um binding links.
Right.
These are the things that bind us together as a community of people. You get what I'm saying? Is because we know that not only did I get got, don't okay, I'm gonna say it like this. Like when I was younger, my mother used to always say stuff to us like if one get beat, all of y'all gonna get beat. So she made it a point to threaten one of us that all of us, if she get in trouble, all of y'all gonna get in trouble. If he get in trouble, all of y'all gonna get in trouble. So it made us bind together. Either we not gonna tell on each other or we just all gonna get beat. Does that make sense to you?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and so when I say a binding link, that's kind of how our cultural our cultures combine, but the lie is what makes our culture clash.
Hmm. It's crazy how you just put it like that. That's exactly what happened in the Middle East. They started with Iraq, and then the other brethren country, they start attacking them one after the other. Libya, Syria, Yemen. But they started in Iraq, and we told them, hey, if we go down, well, the president at the time, if we go down, you guys are next. Don't think that they forgot about you. So we got to stand together. And they all laughed, ignored it, whatever. 10, 11 years later, look what happened. One, the domino effects, boom, 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 and we're still feeling it to this day. So, is things gonna change? Yes, but not everything's gonna change. The game's still gonna be the same, just new faces, new name. Business gonna continue as usual. You know, this is why when stuff happen, we don't be shocked. Like we expect it. Like right now, as we speak, let's say there's a group had enough of the government, right, in Iraq and whatever. They want to over like this government is corrupt and everything. All that government has to do, hey USA, here's a base, here's oil, here's blah blah blah. We're gonna go crazy on them and just make them the terrorists. Oh, okay. The next day on Fox News, these farmers or whatever, they're going to be labeled a terrorist. The government just got away with a massacre. Now the U.S. is going to hold that on them maybe 10 years after that when that government stop giving them the oil or it's time to leave, like get out of my house type of thing. Then they're going to show that massacre on Fox News. Oh my God, look what this evil government has done. Now, the ones who have been paying attention, wait a minute, that was from 10 years ago. But what do you mean? Like those were not even terrorists. They were like rebel farmers. They had enough of the government. So the gameplay is the same. Doesn't matter
Yes.
who's in charge or no matter how
Yes.
psychotic you are. As long as you're playing ball, you're good to go. It's just,
That's
you know,
that's that's the whole point of this conversation of being able to have this conversation with you and Frank here together is because we are all different ethnicities bound to the same one country by land mass, right? Or land inhabitant. And look at the game played on all of us, the same game.
Yeah. We're lied to. We're cheated on. We're harmed by corrupt, greedy, ruthless capitalists and fascists. This is the common problem across the world, around the world. And things haven't changed in 2,000 years. And by that, I mean, let's go back to Jesus' time. And just so you know, I do have some religion in my background.
Yeah.
Go back to Jesus. What did Jesus do on the steps of the temple? He
Went
went
in there and
after.
beat the
He
people.
went after. They didn't call him
Yep.
capitalists. They didn't call him capitalists at the time. They just called them money changers at the time. But they were
Mm-hmm.
making money on poor people. But they were set up on the steps of the temple. Jesus did not like that. So what did he
Mm-hmm.
do? He
Went
turned the
tore it
table
up.
and
Yep.
supposedly whipped all these people. He had a whip. Now, I don't know how much more there is of that. This is what I was taught. So the problem with, and what happened to Jesus? He was
He was
crucified.
yep, he was
Like
crucified
today,
because of it. Absolutely.
people today are being crucified. And if Jesus came back again, which some people believe he will and he can, the same thing's going to happen. This world is made up of this so-called mankind, which I've mentioned this before. Mankind has got to be either the worst or best oxymoron, depending upon how you look at it. But we are having so much trouble no matter where you go in this world. I saw a map recently of the world, and they colored in all of the countries that were against what Israel is doing. And there was 200 countries that showed up. Only one country was not colored in, and that was the United States. The United States still supports Israel and what they're doing. But there's 200 countries that are speaking up now. They're all coming out now. Look what happened recently at the United Nations meeting. Look what happened recently with the so-called president of the United States. He just did a 180-degree turn on Russia. He's now saying that Ukraine should be keeping their land. He's taken him all this time, and he kept using excuses. In 2 weeks, you're going to see what's going to happen. He would use that same thing over and over again, but he was very friendly with Putin. Very friendly. Now, why is that? Answer me that question. Why was he so friendly? Why did he treat Putin, the aggressor, better than the victim, Ukraine?
well, good thing you brought that up. Now, here's another little history a lot of Americans don't even know about. So, this Ukraine Russia thing, this goes back way in the 90s. Let me explain. When the Soviet Union collapsed, there was an agreement the U.S. signed, do not expand NATO. Soviet Union collapsed, the U.S. signed. What happened, and then Ukraine got removed their nuclear, everything was good. Putin, even he said this under when Clinton, he said, hey, Russia wants to join NATO. Clinton said that's not a good idea. Okay, life went on. When Obama came, he asked him, hey, Russia's thinking about want to join NATO. Obama said, no, that's not a good. But he said, here's the thing, though. You guys lied to me. I asked Clinton the same thing, and we signed an agreement do not expand NATO ever since 99, 2000, Obama, what, 2008, 2009, Finland, uh, Slovakia, Slovenia, they all joined NATO. You guys expanded it. You added six, seven new countries. So you guys lied to me. That's what Putin told Obama. So Ukraine was a red line. If Ukraine joins NATO, we're going in. Like, we're not playing this game. Stay away from Ukraine. 2014, there was like a revolution. Some people say it was a CIA-backed European. A Russian pro-president, he was overthrown in that revolution. So what happened was on the eastern Ukraine, there was a war, like a minute battle, like a militia. The Ukrainians, Russia was kind of helping them. There was a massacre, a Nazi Ukrainian massacre, a bunch of Russians in the eastern, which a lot of people don't even know about in 2014. So the battle, so the Ukraine war started in 2014, not 2023. Um, so the battle's been happening over there. They took Crimea because there's a lot of Russian live in those areas, Russian, Ukrainian. 2023, that's when the Russians say, you know what, screw it. Let's go all in on Ukraine, and that's expanded the war. So this been building up. Putin's red line, you know how the U.S., this is a red line, this is a... Putin said, that's my red line. Do not make Ukraine NATO. You guys been lying. You guys been expanding. You're putting missiles near my borders. Now Finland and Sweden joined NATO. So, well, what does that show? The U.S. does not keep its promise. When Obama signed the deal with Iran, right, about their nuclear and all that, the senators laughed at it. He said, Obama's going to leave within a year and a half. We're still going to be here. So the money that the Iranians got, that's their money that the U.S. froze from 30-something years ago. So I don't know why everybody's freaking out. That's the Iranians' money, number one. Number two, what this shows, and this is why everybody's going to China and Russia, the U.S. cannot keep its commitment to nothing. Every 4 years, new president comes and rips the paper.
Can
So
I
the
jump in
worst-
there somewhere?
Yeah.
Let me jump in there for a minute, just for a second.
Yeah.
Hold your thought. Keep your thought right there.
Okay.
Do you know what the beef was with the Native Americans and the Europeans that came to America?
Yeah. The French and the British and I think the Portuguese mostly.
No. This is what the beef was. The Native American helped put these Europeans on the map and make sure they was all right and everything. And America gave them a little plot of land and everything to set up shop in, and they took care of them.
Yeah.
Reservation.
And as a gifting system, because if black people, we always have something for you. We got a pie for you, or a shirt, or a pair. That's just the way we are. It's a gifting system that we have within our culture between us. That's how we greet people or welcome people. We'll give you something.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly the culture that was taking place even back then. But what happened is that the Europeans that came in didn't reciprocate. They just kept taking. And so eventually the natives got angry because instead of them reciprocating, when they couldn't get no more from the original natives, the Saskatchewan of Indians, what they did was they started trading with their enemies, other Native American tribes, because they wouldn't reciprocate back to the people who had looked out for them. Listen to what I'm saying to you, Hassan.
Yeah.
This is what began the war in America originally. They wouldn't give back. You understand? They were taking, but they have a thing of not giving back. And so instead of giving back, what they did was they made friends with other tribes within the Americas to go trade with so that they didn't have to give back to the people who had took care of them initially.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then it started the Native and American War, which ran them out of here earlier, way before 1619, before the settlement. It ran them up out of here back to Europe. And when they ran back to Europe, they came back with ships, battalions of people to destroy these people because they refused to do right by them or and refused to leave. They're gonna come back and take their shit from them because they can't take their shit from them.
yeah, yeah. And same thing is happening right now. And Vladimir Putin, love him, agree with him, disagree with him. He's looking at you guys lied to me, and it's not like that's what I'm saying. Everything goes back. Yes, we gotta look at the past. This is why we ended up where we are right now. It's like there's a timeline, and for some reason in America, when they talk about, they erase the timeline. You're bad, I'm good. We need to.
Absolutely.
That's it. Like without even explaining the whole damn thing, how we got here.
And
Well,
Frank
that
and then went through the same thing. Go ahead, Frank. I was about to
well,
call you up. I'm
Hassan,
sorry. Go ahead.
the last few words that Hassan said reminds me to ask this question: Who in 2025 now? I'm not talking about the past. Today,
Yeah,
who is the individual in this country who wants to erase Black history and from the museums and from books, libraries? Who is that individual? Who do you
The
think it is?
same Europeans from the beginning. It's the
No, it's
same
the
crew from the
president.
beginning,
It's
Frank.
it's the current president of the United States. His mission,
Yes, yes.
he's already stated this, and he's been doing it, erasing certain history. And he's going heavy on Black history and also books in libraries. They're all doing. They follow the leader. They
No,
follow
Frank.
the leader.
He's not the leader. He's the spearhead of it. He's not the leader of it. There are many more.
He officially is the leader of this country
Once,
who's
no,
doing so many
no,
things in the course of one day
no.
that
He's
no,
a
no.
harm.
puppet.
I see what Tosh is saying, and this brings me back to Putin said this: the United States of American president. He's just like the a man
A
with a
figurehead.
briefcase. The real power is the man in suit beside him that you don't see. Like you
Well,
barely see on
He's
camera.
the one that has been. Okay, I agree with you that there's somebody controlling these things, and they probably have capitalist fascist ties. There's people that are virtually unknowns that are controlling things in this country at every level of government, so-called government. But in this case, this man is speaking out personally, saying he wants to erase Black history in the museums, in books, etc., etc. He wants to
Well,
erase it, the history.
and this is why I keep explaining it to you. That's why I keep so adamantly jumping and ripping and trying to explain it, is because Frank, the history that he's trying to erase has nothing to do with slavery. It's the original history of the Black American in America before they got here. You understand? They're trying to
Well,
strip us.
it
Listen
sounds
to what
like
I'm saying, Frank.
yeah,
They're
I
trying
hear
to
you.
strip us
I hear
from
you.
our lineage and our origin here in America to make it seem like we come from Africa. If you notice, everything is trying to send us to Africa, but we're not Africans. We're native Indians to this land right here. There
I
was a
don't. Yeah.
treaty. There was a treaty put out for us here, um, way back when all these wars took place. When I was telling you about the Indian and Spanish war here on this land right here, and there was a treaty put out where there were lands put into escrow, basically, for the purpose of, and they were forever escrows. The land was never able to sell our land Frank. This is what
That's
I was trying to
ridiculous.
explain to you about you guys coming over. You guys didn't come over with nothing. You guys came over to our lands. Is what I keep
Fine.
trying to
No,
explain to you
no,
that
my
they
people came
that
over with
they no
nothing.
Frank, hold on. No, goddamn it, you didn't. Your people came over to a land of that was already inhabited by some people that some other people came and hurt the fuck up to try to take the land. And when they invited you guys over, they invited you guys over after they did the hoodwink to us and took our land. And then when they invited you guys over, they put you all onto our land. And then you guys got here thinking that they were correct in what they were saying, and you started fighting us for our own land.
No, when you say they and then you said you, I don't know who you mean is they.
You, when I say you, I'm talking about the people that came over, the Ellis Island people that came here.
Yeah, there was all kinds of people coming.
That's
They
what
were
I say.
immigrants,
That's why I
and
say
they
you
were, yeah,
guys.
yeah, they
You
were
understand what
invited.
I'm saying?
Okay, well, I was
Yeah, they
wondering
were
who you meant by
invited
they.
to come over to take our shit from us. That's what I'm trying
I,
to explain to
well,
you.
that part I may not agree with you on, but there was
But it's
people
true.
coming from all over
That's
the
what I'm
place.
telling you. You see, Hassan had a lie, a pack on top of lie, on top of the lie. But when the truth is said, they'll say, no, I don't agree. But it's the fucking truth.
Well, it might have already been eliminated from history.
It, that,
It might have been erased by the likes of this president.
it's not erased. It's still there.
No, no. You're saying
Yes, it's still
you're
there.
saying.
We do the
Are you
research
saying
on
that
it.
he is not hell
We
bent
have
on
the
erasing
paperwork.
Black history? He said
Yep,
it
he
himself.
is hell bent, but he's hell bent on erasing the black history that ties us to our land.
I don't think that was specified.
I'm trying to
If
tell you
that's
what
if
it
that's
is, though. See what
if
I'm
that's
saying, Hassan? That's what I keep trying to tell you about what be taking place over there in your spot. When you tell the people what's taking place, they tell you some other shit, even though you telling them what the fuck took place.
I'm just telling you what I
This
hear
is the American
coming out
way.
this man's mouth, that he wants to eliminate history, even in the museums and in writings, in books.
And
That's
I'm
his.
telling you why.
Well, I'm not sure how you deduce that.
It's written.
Where?
It's written in the libraries of Congress.
And you think it's going to stay there? If it is, I didn't know that what you're saying. I didn't know of what you speak.
It's written.
Well, it's part of Black history. You would agree?
Yes.
And he admitted
And that's
he,
why you keep hearing us scream from the mountaintop every time you hear us scream out from the mountaintops, you hear them say, don't trust those black people. They're dangerous.
I,
These people are thugs.
I don't
These
hear that.
people are. You
I don't
don't
hear
hear
that.
that, Hassan? You ain't never heard that shit?
No, no, wait a minute. I don't hear what you're saying in the places that I go to
See
or
what
the
I'm saying?
places that I visit. I don't hear that.
No, but no, I see what you're talking about because look at it like this, Frank, and Fox News, or the like Senator, same thing can be said for us. Terrorists, they love using that word.
Yeah.
They're here trying to get us. They're here trying to get. They hate us because of our freedom. What? Okay, whatever. But here's the thing: they don't tell you. Do you know the your government backs them up? They give them weapons. They sell them stuff. You know, I'm talking about the terrorists. So also you got to look at that, and either Americans they starting to wake up, but a lot of people still don't know the evil Al Qaeda. They got armed. You know, like I was telling you earlier, with the ISIS, while they're bombing them in Syria, in Iraq, they're literally helping them in Syria because they don't like the Syrian president. At the same time, at the same war, literally the same war. I'm attacking you here, but I'm helping you in this country right here, across the border. It's like, wait, it's like, and now a lot of Americans even knew that. And at the time in Syria war back then, like 10 years ago, there was a group, a spin-off of Al Qaeda called Al Nusra, They were backed by the CIA, right? The CIA was funding them money, weapons, training. And I forgot the other group. And there was another group, was guess who they were backed by? The Pentagon. Weapons, training, information, and those two groups were fighting each other. And when you turn on CNN, do we know who we backing? Be honest, where does our money go? Come on now. They know where their money going. They know
Yeah,
who they're backing, exactly who they're backing.
yeah. You can't believe the numbers. Don't believe any numbers and very few reports because there's so many lies going around. You
Oh
can't
yeah,
believe
yeah.
the numbers as far as the budget of this country. They just to give you an example, there was not long ago, not that many years ago, within the past 5 to 10 years, there was trillions of dollars unaccounted for to the Pentagon's budget. It's never been determined where did it go. You cannot. They fight over the budget like it's no tomorrow. They fight right up to the deadline, and then all of a sudden, if we don't get this passed, the government's going to shut down. It's happening all over the country.
Yeah.
But what happens is once they pass the budget, what the important part that they leave, everybody fights over the budget, which is just Chinese numbers, I'm going to say, without insulting all the Chinese people. It's numbers that are not reliable numbers. The reliable numbers should be what the spending is. Do they ever come back and tell you how much they spent in the different categories? Did they go over budget? Under budget? What were the actual numbers? We will never know the truth. It happens at low level governments. It certainly is happening at high level governments. You cannot believe what these people are supposed to be working for us are doing with our blood, sweat, and tears tax money. You cannot believe anything they're saying. They don't report to us. They're supposed to be reporting to us and working for us. They are not. That's my personal observation from decades of looking at what is the biggest thing right now facing the world and especially the United States or un-United States, I call it. It's more descriptive to say un-United States than states because when you go from one state to another here, it's like going into another country. And it's ruled by different kings in each one.
Oh
the
yeah.
fact is, what is the most important two subjects or things that are very important that we're not even talking about? It's not even on a discussion. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. Like they
Well, yeah, I'm going to answer my own question.
yeah.
Okay, thank you for laughing. The most important thing, two most equal importance. One is pervasive, corrupt, greedy, ruthless capitalism / fascism. And look up the definition of fascism in a dictionary. Better yet, look up the definition in a modern dictionary and look at one that's 50 or 60 years old, proved to be. You're going to see two different definitions. Somebody was powerful enough to change the definition of fascism, at least in my dictionaries. Now, it could be different. And the other most important factor is this worldwide contamination, poisoning of not only drinking water, but all the products made with domestic water that's piped all over the place. And so it's not only products, it's drinking water, products made with that drinking water that's spread over this whole world. And we are sick. I am highly contaminated. And what is the solution? Bloodletting. That's the only solution that I know of. The only way to rid the body of these chemicals. I tested higher, 4 times I tested now, higher than 95% of the population tested. If you weren't tested, and you don't necessarily have to live in this place called Newburgh, New York, the city of Newburgh, New York. It's spread all over the place. It's all over the world. I highly recommend you be tested. And let me say something about these two important issues facing the entire world, because these chemicals affect your immune system. They're considered carcinogenic. They cause all these problems. They can't even keep up with it. And like I said, the only cure is bloodletting. If they remove the contaminated blood from your body, then it gets replenished with new blood, and the chemical load could be reduced. But right now they're even saying donate blood. So what you're doing, you're donating blood, and you're taking your blood and giving it to somebody else, and it's got these chemicals in it. Nobody's saying anything about that. And if you are getting all these commercials for class action lawsuits like I am every day, and there's others jumping on a bandwagon. So we're seeing all these different lawsuits online. Uh, the law firms that are advertising are completely out of touch with what's really happening. And that's my personal opinion from studying this since 2016 when it first came out here. And we were all informed that we had been drinking poison drinking water for 6 decades without anybody knowing about it. Thank you.
Frank, now, because you come in from a different thing,
Mm.
with all this that you just heard from Hassan and all that you just heard from me, and I'm also gonna share that information with you later. I'll send it to your Instagram so that you could go through it and see what I was saying.
Yeah, I understand. We're
Yeah,
in agreement. I think the three of us are in agreement of a common cause for.
yeah. But that's what I try to tell you. It's those little nuances that the government has slipped in on each one of us that cause us to have those little culture clashes that keep us all distracted while they keep robbing us.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? And they've caused different fractures of the continents
Yeah.
to become enemies with each other without even having harmed each other. Like, how are you don't like me, and I've never done anything to you, but every time I turn around, I hear some shit about, man, them black Americans and them the black American and the black American, and I'm looking like, but I ain't never did nothing to you. Like,
Who
whatever I did to her,
who are you
whatever I
hearing it
did to from
Who,
different
from black
factions
people?
of from different orientated colors.
I'm not hearing it, Miss Tash. Are
You
you
may
hearing
not
it
be here.
from?
Hassan, you ain't hearing that?
No, no, no. I mean, we hear it from.
Okay, I'm just saying. So I
No.
don't know what little bubble Frank be in over there, because this is the second time that I said some shit in Hassan. You know what I'm saying, but Frank don't. So this
No.
is what I be trying to tell you. Hold on, Frank. This is what I'm trying to say to you about that little privileged side where you don't get a chance to see or hear none of this old crazy ass stuff coming at us. But then it turn around when we respond, it's like those black people. You get what I'm saying? Like, I
No.
wanna hit you guys with this right here, Fair Right Act, Copyright Act, blah blah blah. It's on my beginning screen, so I'm always able
Yeah.
to go back to it. But I want to play this right here for you guys just for a second, so you can understand what I'm saying. Because Charlie Kirk just got unalived by a young Republican MAGA white guy. But why are we hearing this right here? Hold on, Frank. Listen to this.
See Erica and her strength and her courage. I'm reminded of a famous expression: warrior, that you cannot stand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm.
What storm? Why? The boy is in the jail. What
This.
storm? Why, Frank? The man that shot Charlie Kirk is in the jail.
Well, the individual might be in jail, like you said. This whole story, from the beginning to what we know today, in my opinion, I know firearms. I've handled firearms my entire life and utilized them my entire life. What they're saying about the firearm and how he used that firearm and the things that have happened around this, the way he jumped off the roof, or he actually dropped off the roof that was probably 18 feet off the ground, and he dropped probably 12 feet. And he some people are saying, well, he had the rifle down his pant leg. No, he didn't. But this individual that just did the speaking, it was breaking up for me. But this is, I don't know what to say at this point. That individual is a scary individual, and he's sitting at the right hand of the biggest liar and cheater that we've ever seen in this country. This
Okay,
man
let me
here.
go a little further with it. Hold on, Frank. Hold that thought.
America is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello.
Now, why the fuck ain't y'all over there, though? Why you over here in America terrorizing the Indians over this motherfucker, over there in Pakistan, terrorizing them motherfuckers over there in Italy, terrorizing them motherfuckers over there in Spain, terrorizing them? Why the fuck is you not in these places that you screaming about?
When he says our enemies, specify who do you mean when you say our enemies? And do you mean the enemies of this country or the enemies of your party? What does he mean?
That's what we keep asking. That's why I'm asking you. That's why I played it, because who is the enemy? The dude that shot the dude that you in the funeral for is in the jail.
Well, we don't know that yet. The guy hasn't even been tried, and there's people calling him guilty. They called other people guilty even before they've been tried. And that's coming from the highest levels of elected officials in this country. And he was notorious. What about what happened in Manhattan when this so-called president of the United States, right now, when he lived in New York City and he thought he was going to be a powerful man, he had 5 people convicted of murder even before they were tried. He took out a full-page ad in one of the New York City papers. He's notorious for calling people guilty before they're maybe even arrested. But the fact is, in this country, we are innocent until proven guilty. I don't care who you are. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Well, the suspected shooter, let's say the suspected shooter that they're saying that took out Charlie Kirk is already inside your facility. So who is the enemy that you're speaking on? Who is we? Who is they? Remember how we had to clarify that up earlier a few minutes ago?
But you can't say you can't say suspect. There's people who will not use the word suspect. You can say allegedly, but you can't say suspect, because now you've already discriminated against that individual, and people think he's the guy that did it. He's suspected of doing the crime. And
he's the one in jail, so that's why I'm directing it at the one that's in the jail that you all said, the FBI and the news. So how are you at a memorial service underway for conservative activist Charlie Kirk saying that the enemy is, and we will, let me play it a little bit more.
Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry.
Those was my ancestors. Those wasn't her ancestors. Those was my ancestors. That's what I'm saying. This is about that lie that I was talking about, Hassan. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You see the goddamn lie, Hassan?
Was this supposed to be a memorial for Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it seemed like it was for some rock star. They had all the sparks flying, and they had these people speaking as though it was a campaign speech. This was not a memorial. Charlie Kirk died. He had 2 kids, a wife. He should never have died, never have been killed. We will not know the actual truth. If it comes out down the road sometime, maybe, but we'll never know. We don't know the truth yet with John F. Kennedy how he was killed. We don't know
But
the truth
Frank,
yet. The Twin Towers. We don't know
what
that.
I'm saying to you, Frank, is look at he came over, his parents, his grandparents, like your grandparents came over to Ellis Island, right? But look at this fucking lie he's standing up here telling on a podium in
Yeah.
front of millions of people and just totally wipe our history out of that. And this is what I'm trying to say to you, Hassan. This is the point I'm trying to make about how that privilege work a little bit, where it'll be like, well, oh well, and this is what we did. And just topple over and stand on top of whatever everybody else did before they was there. It's like, now that I'm here, this is what, oh well, this is what it is. And then cannot figure out why they keep getting tapped upside the head everywhere they go. Can't figure out why black people is jacking them and laying hands and feet on them in the name of Jesus. Like, because you keep lying and you keep trying to make this lie be the truth. And now you keep trying to bury me while I'm still alive. And then you threatening me boldly while sitting on my front lawn.
Yeah.
How dare you?
But again, it's becoming normal. Like the way he's
Yeah.
saying it, it's normal. Like, you know, like if you keep a lie and you keep repeating it, it's gonna become the truth to your audience. You know?
Now listen to listen to some of the rest of this. Listen to it.
Raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark.
Huh? What the what, Frank? What the what, Frank? What?
What light? What light are they talking about? And what dark?
just-
Dark. This
you
this
feel
guy
me, Frank?
reminds me of Dark. This guy here reminds me of Dark. I don't have the confidence in this person or the person he reports to. I just don't have the confidence. And what is the purpose of this show? Is it for a memorial for Charlie Kirk and his family?
That's what it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, but it seems to me it was taken over by different kind of talk. This is not talk for a memorial.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if this is what I didn't even see the whole thing.
I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just wanted to play, a minute or so of it to let you guys see this is what we've been facing since Plymouth Rock land on us.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything to Charlie Kirk.
No.
So why threaten us?
Well,
everything turned back to the Black American. Every country, everybody aim all guns at us. And we're looking like, but what did we do to y'all? Like, we didn't do anything to y'all. Not no country. We have not bombed a country. We've not tried to take over. We, as a matter of fact, come to everybody's country and we give away money because we know what it's like to struggle. We know what that feel like. So when we fought for the civil rights movement for everybody else to come over here, that was because we know what that feel like.
Yeah.
So why are all the guns aimed at us?
I hope not. And I don't see what you're seeing. I see people of color in my family, my blood relatives. They got the same blood in their veins I got in my veins, but they're people of color.
Hassan, do you be seeing it?
Pardon me?
I'm asking Hassan because you say you don't see it, Frank.
No, I don't.
But I'm asking Hassan, do you see it because you out here in the world. You out here in these YouTube streets. Hassan, do you see it?
Yeah, because it's divide and conquer. As long as people divide, it's easy to conquer, I see it because Frank, and I understand what you're saying, Frank. I understand, but the only reason I see it because we go to the same garbage too. The same BS for the most part. Um, but yeah, I mean, that Memorial Day turned to like a concert, literally.
That's right.
Like a rock and roll. It was a
They even had
joke.
the effects of a concert with the sparks.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like a show. It's like another distraction. Um, Tosh, can you play the first thing I send you real quick? We're on these multiple topics, and this will make a lot of sense on what we're talking about.
Hold on,
This,
Hassan. Give me a second.
yeah, the second one's a little bit longer. Watch that when you have time, but the first one's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I see this. I see the first one. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, fair use, fair
But yeah,
use.
Frank, I'm sorry for cutting you off, sweetie.
That's all right.
But
You
these
can cut me off.
these are the things that we keep trying to tell you is taking place, and and I don't mean to call you white because I know you're Italian, but in white America, you guys don't even know what's going on, and like you'll say, no, I don't think that's what's happening, and we're telling you, no, this is what's happening.
No, what I'm saying, I'm not disputing anything that you said, but what you're hearing and what I'm hearing is two different things. And I have people of color in my family, and they're doing very well. Maybe they're not associating with the same type of
Yeah,
people you are, but they're doing very well, and they're going to be future doctors. They might be treating you or me or Hassan someday. They're going to be doctors. They're almost there, and they're young, but they're not completely white. They're either half brown or half black. So they
yeah, but
still have
they
the
but
same.
they're but we're are completely black is what I'm trying to explain to you, Frank. There's
Yeah,
a difference.
but I'm not
That's
hearing
what
the
you see.
same
That's
thing.
where that's
Yeah,
where I know, but that's the cultural disconnect. This is what I keep
yeah,
trying to tell you
yeah.
that
No,
causes those
I'm not.
clashes between culture and culture is
Yeah,
because the cultural disconnect says to me, um, I hear what you're saying, but
no, but I'm not hearing it because you're going in different environments maybe than I am. I don't know, but
absolutely.
I'm not hearing the same thing you are. I'm hearing on people that I interface with, that I communicate with, people in my family are doing very well, and I don't
And
hear
now
any.
and now I got Hassan here who is not of my lineage, not of my culture, not in my town, not from my country, and he's telling you the same shit I'm telling you. And you understand what I'm saying to you, Frank?
We're all
Hassan
saying the
is
same thing.
no, Hassan is telling you what I'm telling you. You
Yeah,
saying you
no,
don't hear it, and then so I'll go back and say, Hassan, did you hear that? Because
I
you
think
know,
we're in agreement. I think we're in agreement. The three of us are in agreement with the top cause of our problems. You recognize it, Hassan recognizes it, Frank recognizes it. The major problems in this country and how and who is causing the major problems. And I
yeah,
think we all agree. We
yeah.
agree.
Now hold on, Hassan, what is this about? We gonna do copyright, fair use, and it's General Wesley Clark, 7 countries in 5 years, 2007. Tell me about this a little bit.
So this what we talked about earlier. You know how they went after Iraq and after
Yes.
9/11 and all that. This general is about to expose. Well, at that time, he said how the U.S. is going to take out 5 countries or 7 countries in 5 years. It started with Iraq, then Libya, then Syria, and then they're going to finish off with Iran. So these type of things they've been planned out back then, and they already been announcing it, but no one's been paying attention. Now there's not going to be airing on Fox News or CNN, as you can see, but so the damage has been done. So he's going to explain it in better detail. But so
Okay, let's check
yeah,
it
yeah.
out. Let's check it out.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No, no." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq. This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that, worse than that, he said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off
Stop there
Iran.
for a minute and talk about that.
Yeah. Now,
the truth is about the Middle East is, had there been no oil
Hold on,
there,
I'm gonna stop
it would be
for,
like
for
Africa.
a minute, and we'll go right back to that part.
Nobody is
Now let's
threatening.
talk about a little bit. Frank, you first.
yeah. Just so you know, I heard this before. I don't know if a year or two ago. I agree with what he's saying. We didn't know it at the time, but my question would be to Ms. Tash and Hassan is, who do you think the causative agents were when they gave this general his marching orders? And who do you think the causative agents were at the time? They were corrupt, greedy, ruthless, capitalist fascists. That's who was the cause of all this. That's who was giving this guy his marching orders. The same thing is happening today as we speak. And it's going to get worse. We're only 25% less than 25% into this current regime. But the fact is, who do you think was the causative agents?
It could be multiple players, as like you said, corrupt, fascists, billionaires, the military-industrial complex.
They're fascists and American capitalists that you're talking about.
Yeah. So, and also, and this is the wars that he's talking is happening like it happened back then, but they still happen. And it's not including the wars in Africa that no one barely talks about.
That's
the
right.
war and that's not even including the wars in Myanmar, which half of America don't even know what Myanmar is, like a countries in Asia going on. And of course, the wars in South America, that's including the drug war, the Colombian rubble. So everything in a way kind of ties in together. You got to follow the money. Now, over here, they got to paint it. Oh, we got to, it's for freedom. We're going to defeat the evil dictator, which they've been supporting for the last 25 years. But okay, we play along. It's the same game. And the real leaders, even you like him or hate him or you agree with them or disagree with them, they've already been hanged. Saddam Hussein, like him or hate him. Now every Iraqi right now, if you talk to a lot of Iraq, they come to the same conclusion. Hey, bring him back. You guys did nothing. Like if there's an election, everybody will vote him. He will get 100%. This new government that the U.S. put for freedom, within a year, within a year, they were fighting among each other who should get what position in power and how much they should get paid. They didn't talk about rebuilding the country. They didn't talk about feeding the people, getting jobs, health, education, and they're doing it live. And this was 2003, 2004, and we seen it on live TV. They didn't give a damn. And this is the Americans that helped build. Yeah, I'm not saying Saddam was the greatest, but for the people, it was safe. It was a lot safer. Now it's like,
They lied.
What was that?
Military people told the people at the time, told our government at the time, he does not have weapons of mass destruction. It didn't matter. We're talking about, again, fascism, capitalism, corrupt capitalism. When you talk billionaire, look at the billionaires that supported the current Agent Orange in the White House. Look at that. Look at the billionaires that supported him. Look at that one particular billionaire that dumped huge amounts into his campaign. And only God knows what these people did to become lucky enough to get into office. But the fact is, it's the bottom line here is, I don't care if you're talking billionaires or people in big business, it's corrupt, greedy, ruthless capitalism / fascism. Now, whether we're the driving force for the entire world, we think we're the policeman of the world, Hassan.
I know.
You agree? Yeah, that's what the people here have been conditioned to believe. Once you condition Americans to believe something, you're not going to change them. They will go an entire lifetime of believing the lie, and you're not going to change their mind. They'll die before they change their mind.
And good thing you now, Taj. We can finish the video now. What you just said, Frank. Remember that. Hopefully, Taj will play the second video, and he can explain why everybody's in the mindset they're in this. But let's finish this video real quick.
You like Africa. Nobody is threatening to intervene in Africa. The problem is the opposite. We keep asking for people to intervene and stop it. And there's no question that the presence of petroleum throughout the region has sparked great power involvement. Whether that was the specific motivation for the coup or not, I can't tell you. But there's always been this attitude that somehow we could intervene and use force in the region.
Well, real quick, let me add this. The reason in Africa, because half of the leaders in Africa are traitors to the Europeans and America. So there's no
they're corrupt. They absolutely are.
So there's no use why interfere when they can give us the oil, the mines, the gold, or whatever there is to steal. Now the ones right now, there's 3 countries: Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. The new leaders of those 3 countries, they standing together now. They kicked out the French. They kicked out, I think, the British as well. And they made an agreement of any of them gets attacked, they all go to war with each other. Now, play the other video, and that's what literally is going to explain what Frank was talking about before we continue. But it's like I keep saying, it's the same play, the same BS, just different faces and different time. Just follow the money, and you get all the answers you need.
Right.
And what that general just proved, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. The agenda is going to go on, no matter who is the president or no matter who you voted for. Whatever the plan is, that's what we're going to go with.
We can't play this whole thing because I'm over my time, but we'll play some of it, Hassan. That way, we'll get an idea of what it is that you trying to show us with this guy right here. Okay. Did I share it? I did share it, right?
Yeah.
You spoke before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't phrase. Ideological subversion. What do they mean about?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, and they can see no mystery. There's nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of it is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion, and
why the video is freezing?
Of my caliber, only about of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85%, slow process, which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия, is to perceive reality. Every American, to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information,
They played
no
this,
one
Tosh.
is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in four basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see, most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system.
Let's stop it right there for a minute. Expound on it, Hassan.
So this guy is a former KGB, and the people don't know what KGB is. That's like the Soviet Russian version of CIA. He's
We know what
explaining,
KGB is.
yeah, what he's explaining how you dismantle a nation, how to sabotage a country without using like a weapon, without using a gun or nothing. And the way he's explained is 5 stages. So the first stage, he just it takes 15 to 20 years to educate one generation to think a certain way. No matter what you show them evidence. You can talk, you can scream like how you say we scream.
Absolutely.
It don't matter
Absolutely.
because they were trained a certain way. And then so there's like 5 stages to this, and that's why everybody's is stuck with the whatever they believe. Even though you show them evidence, it don't mean nothing
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
They're looking at you crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
can you play mine, because yours keep freezing, if you don't mind, real quick.
It's going to be the same response, but it's not freezing. It's probably because the internet. It's so many people on on YouTube at one time that it has a stammering effect.
You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind. If you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is completely irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
That's right. Hassan, I'm gonna leave it there because I'm over my schedule a lot, but go into that a little bit, because that's exactly what I just finished telling y'all. And I don't mean to get so passionate when I'm saying stuff to y'all, but that's exactly what happened to us in America. And this is what we keep trying to explain to everybody else who have migrated to America onto what we call it was our land. And we keep saying the same thing. Like, you guys are new here, but we've been here. Our ancestors have been here. And we're trying to tell you that there was a play pulled on us. There was a scam pulled on us. You get what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
And we keep trying to explain to y'all that they keep trying to cover it up, and they keep throwing other people in front of them, like they'll throw y'all in front of us to fight us, to make it seem like, we did something to everybody else, but it's not. You understand? Like, how somebody jump into a fight in front of somebody, and the other person is dead ass wrong,
yeah,
but but they friend, because they friend come and jump in the middle of it, and yeah. And you
yeah,
looking
yeah,
at the friend like, you don't got nothing to do with this fight, man. Like, I'm about to beat the brakes off of you for your friend. Your friend pushing you up to a fight that you don't have nothing to do with. And now you gonna get hurt because this person behind you done did something. And they pushing you up in front of them to block them from getting hurt, but it's gonna get you hurt. Move out the way. And there's so many people that have come to the United States and done that to the Black American and jump right in our face in the fight, that you don't know what happened. They did something. And now they hiding behind you, and they pushing you up to, now you want to fight the Black American. Everybody want to come fight the Black American. And we trying to tell you the Europeans did some shit. We not after y'all. We not trying to hurt y'all. We actually like y'all. We are the ones that welcome y'all into the community. It's not them, it's usually us. If you get any money, it's usually through us first and then them. You understand? Because they don't want y'all to be our friend in the community. So then they offer you a bigger thing of money to turn against us in the Black community. But it's usually us that look out for y'all when you first come here. You get what I'm saying? It's a flim flam that been going on for a long time, and they've taken this tour across seas like a concert, like y'all just said about that speech at Charlie Kirk's funeral. It's like
yeah,
a concert. They've taken it all across the world like a concert. They
Yeah.
practicing it on us, and now they've taken it all across the world.
yeah, yeah. I can't disagree with that. But finish the video whenever you have time, later or tomorrow, whenever. It's very interesting video, I think, and you check it out, Frank, as well. I think you'll like it too.
Yeah, I believe in the premise of the video, even though it's coming from a former, I guess he's a former KGB. But there's so many things that are being done to us in this country. So many different ideologies, so many businesses that affects the whole country, affects the way people think, and it's things that most people would not realize that it could be harming the country. I've seen more violence on a Sunday afternoon in a football game or a baseball game or a soccer game than I have any other place. There's so much violence in the sports world. There's so much violence in the movie industry. They show people getting killed, places being blown up, people being shot down. It's all blood and guts, but they believe in this stuff, and they live what they see in the movies. But it's more than that. It's the government industrial complex. It's the drug industry, the drug industrial complex in this country. A lot needs to be said about these different businesses. They're making big money on, at the same time, harming people. This is a whole nother show. Probably each one of those subjects could be a show in itself.
Yes.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna
So
get
it's
you
these
guys
things that
back
are
here so
harming
we
us.
can talk
They're-
about it.
yeah.
And Eisenhower warned us in his last. If you go
Yeah.
watch his last speech before he left office, he
Yes.
said, "Do not let the military-industrial complex, Americans, watch
Right.
out for them." And
Yeah.
Kennedy, the president of the United States, he spoke about secret societies. Now I get it, now people say it's conspiracy, but if the United States president is talking about it, we just start listening. Like, wait a minute, the president's talking about what? But
But they've always,
it's
see, my family have always known these things because they come from those secret societies of Eastern Stars and and Prince Hall Masons. So
Yeah.
my family have already been hip to all these things from day one. And that's why it is pertinent for people who come out of other countries to come, and that's why we welcomed everybody in 1965 like that with the civil rights bill, so that you would have access to know the truth about America and not the lie, so that you wouldn't get caught up in the lie of America. You get what I'm saying? But instead of that, what they did was they made the black American the bad guy. They call us gangsters, but I specifically remember them showing us Scarface and Al Capone and every fucking body else. So we trying to figure out, like, huh? Like, how did that flip on to us?
Well, I believe things are changing. Things are turning around.
But did you understand what I just said to you, Frank?
Yes, I heard.
How
I heard.
did that flip on to the black American?
Yeah.
Well, time, money, media, slowly, and then how you say somebody like invading you, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Like
We have
slowly. It's
a
a
lot
slow
of
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of poor people in this country. Like I said before, there's people in this country. They're probably well-to-do. They're getting a paycheck every week. They live in a nice house, and they might have a nice family. But the fact is, poor people are looked down upon, and they blame them for being poor. Remember what I'm saying? They blame these people for being poor.
After robbing them and making them poor.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
You get
saying.
what I'm saying? Like, after robbing them and making them poor,
That's
then
what
they
I'm.
blame them for what
That's
we
what
did. I blame you for what I did to you.
I'm and you can't believe the numbers for anything, especially the unemployment numbers. There's people that are living, and we did talk about the fact they went in and rounded up all the homeless people in Washington, D.C., because they look down on these people. They don't have a job. And they took them to someplace else. Now, where did they take them? Did they just take the problem and move it outside of D.C. and some of these other places? There's some places we could probably, with the money uh, uh, with the money that we're squandering on all these wars, on spreading our bribe money around the world, we could have structures built in this country for the poor people, instead of them having to live out in the woods somewhere or in a tent or under a tarp or whatever. There was a good story, I'm not going to go into it, of a homeless man sitting on the steps of a church. And it was a plan. And the church, everybody was coming to church, this particular church, to see the new pastor in the church. Maybe you saw this video, maybe you didn't. And I thought it was the best thing ever. And it was a video that was put together to show people. So here's the poor guy sitting on the steps of the church begging for something, food or money. And nobody was paying attention to him. They were shunning the guy. The new pastor, it was this homeless guy. He came in carrying a plastic bag and he was all disheveled. But it could happen in real life. It was probably made up, you know.
That's funny, because I had planned on doing that. We was me and my cousin had been invited to a church down in New York City, and the Holy Spirit had said, dress up as a bum, walk in as a bum. She the pastor, but you walk in because you're a deaconess, but walk in as a bum and see how they greet you. You know what I mean? Because that's the total connectivity between spirit and flesh. Is, can I receive you even as?
Yeah.
You understand? So,
Yeah.
man, it's been great, guys. Hassan, any last thing you want to say before we get up out of here? I'm over my schedule by far, but I'm so
Yeah.
happy to have you guys here. And please forgive me if it seems like I'm screaming. I'm just got a big ass mouth.
No, I'm used to it at this moment.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you for having me. This actually was fun. I like this conversations, hopefully it's not the last time we have these type of conversations.
No. I tell you guys all the time, whenever y'all want to do a panel, let me know. I call you up. I don't have no problem with it, Hassan. You know how we get down.
No, I appreciate that. Frank, do you have a channel or no?
No, I've done most of my work on Facebook. I'm currently locked out of Facebook, but I was a columnist at one time. I came from the high tech industry, Fortune 5 company, so I've got a lot to talk about the high tech industry and about life in general. So I've been through it all. I think. Uh, Hopefully, everybody will be okay from here on out. But unfortunately, what I see happening within my family or expanded family and friends, relatives, people are dying unnecessarily long before their time, natural life should be over. People I know, and there's a cancer pandemic going on. PFAS chemicals, pervasive PFAS chemicals is one of our major problems in this country. It's not being addressed. People are not getting tested. People don't know about it. I do have a Facebook venue. It's called PFAS Victims of the World United. I haven't been able to post there for a year now, so I'm pleading with Facebook to let me back in. And I'm also so some of my writings are there on that page. Family
Okay,
Stew.
okay. Frank, I don't know if you can you see the private chat?
The private.
Yeah. Are you on your phone or laptop?
I'm on a laptop right now.
Yeah. You see where it says private chat on the right? I put my channel. Like sometimes we go live and we do panels.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. Okay, you want my contact information?
Yeah. I mean your Facebook. Like you can like we can
Yeah,
recreate it.
I'm on Instagram. If you can check. So you want me to give you my contact information on the private chat?
Yes, in the
Like
private chat.
Okay.
And not only that, but Hassan, what you don't know about Frank Carbone Jr. is he's also one of my partners on another page that we have called the Family Stew, and I'm hoping that I can talk Frank into bringing the Family Stew, which was supposed to be this in the first place. I'm hoping that I can bring Frank on as a new channel called the Family Stew.
Oh, oh, you are. I didn't know. Is that a new announcement now?
Yeah, that's a new announcement.
Okay. Very good. Congratulations.
So that we can continue our mission from the Family Stew page.
Yeah. So we got friends in South Africa
They
that are
probably
members. Pardon me?
wait, no, they ain't the ones. I was about to say, God forgive me, you hear me messing with you. You hear me messing with him, right, Hassan? Because he been locked out his page for a year, right?
Yeah.
He said we
Well,
got friends in South Africa. You got some in West Africa. You just don't know it.
on the Family Stew. I'm talking. They're folks on the Family Stew, and I
I know
see.
I'm cracking jokes right now, Frank. You don't hear me messing
I know.
with you though.
I know.
Hassan caught the joke because I said you got some friends on the West Coast because you of Africa too because you've been locked out your account for Hassan. He'd have been hit by the Yaya boys.
but yeah, this actually was fun. Again, appreciate you. Frank, that's my channel. If you ever see me live, you're welcome to hit the panel whenever you want.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah, we talk politics mostly over there. Sometimes relationship, but politics. Tosh, I appreciate you for having me once again. Damn, we've been here for 2 hours, almost 2 hours.
Where did the time go?
In a second, it'll be 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hassan, thank you so much, sweetheart. We always get together, be it New Year's or whatever. We always wind up getting our little time in. But I knew that you guys would be a great fit. Because Frank is extremely, extremely intelligent. I love having conversations with him because he's extremely intelligent. And it's one of the reasons why I keep him around me too, Hassan. Is for that purpose, is because Frank has an extensive amount of knowledge.
Blame my mentors. All my mentors. My grandparents.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually been knowing you over a year now, actually.
Yeah. Over a year now.
Yeah. Well, until next time, appreciate everybody, you know.
All
Yes,
right. I appreciate you. I thank you, Hassan. Frank, you as well. You
You too.
guys will do this again. You know
Great
I
show.
always have something going on, Hassan. But yeah, we'll
Great
do this
show.
again soon enough, okay?
Very good.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Great show.
Nice
All
meeting
right, I
you.
appreciate you guys.
Right. All right, take care.
Okay, well, you guys, we always have some wonderful people on the show because I just like wonderful people, and it's just that's just how I feel about people. Um, and also we have another show coming up next week. I cannot remember, my brain be so locked, but I will send out the flyer so you guys can look on the community board section of the YouTube page, and you will definitely be able to figure out who's coming up next. And until next time, y'all know how I do. Y'all know how I do.
Fresh out of the freezer. Fresh, guess I was freezed up. Fresh out of the deeper freezer, cause I'm deeper than any voice on speakers. I can't hear y'all haters, you gotta speak up. I don't need to slow down, I need to speed up. Anonymous activity, Bobby B stuff. Jealousy's a ski mask, emotion, and eat up. Fresh out of the freezer. Fresh, guess I was freezed up. Fresh out of the deeper freezer, cause I'm deeper than any voice on speaker.